Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for Trending Vegas. I'm Melissa Duran, and today I'm joined by Natasha Shahani and Jace Radke from our Office of Communications. We're so glad to have you guys.
Thank you.
How has it been going? Busy for you guys right now?
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's
a lot going on.
You know, I just want to mention that we are socially distanced. We are 6 feet apart. You can see Jace is in another portion of the studio. There he is.
I'm on an island over here. They would do this even if there wasn't a pandemic.
Well, it's turned out to be pretty good for us. So, all right, guys. Well, we have a lot of serious topics to get to today. The most recent being the sudden passing of former Zappos CEO Tony Hsieh, who died as a result of injuries from a house fire. Here's a look at some of the tweets. First, here's a video we here at the city put together, and the caption reads, "Envision, create, and believe in your own universe, and the universe will form around you." Tony Hsieh, thank you for believing in downtown Las Vegas. Here's a look. Jimmy Kimmel writes, "Tony was a brilliant, creative, and generous person who did great things for Las Vegas. This is terrible news." Fremont Street Experience paid tribute to Tony, writing on Twitter, "In remembrance of a true American entrepreneur and downtown Las Vegas visionary," along with this video on their canopy.
Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same if I saw you in heaven?
Finally, Mark Pincus writes, "My favorite Tony Hsieh memory was watching him beat us all breezily in poker and then give our money to the dealers and servers as tips. I will miss his quiet, smiling confidence." And guys, this was such a shock. We don't have a lot of details, only know that he was in a fire in Connecticut. We don't know if he got trapped, barricaded. That is still speculation at this point. But just in terms of downtown Las Vegas and the city of Las Vegas as a whole, what a loss. He brought so much energy, so much excitement. He did so much for downtown. Natasha, what are you seeing on social and your thoughts on this?
So much. So I didn't know Tony very well. I met him a couple of times through past jobs, but I met some of my closest friends and some of my my network because of Tony and what he did for downtown. So starting Friday and still continuing, it's people sharing memories, it's the lessons they learned, the moments they shared, what stood out about him, why they enjoyed him, and it's so sad to see so many people hurting over a loss of somebody who's impacted our community so much. I moved to downtown at the start of Tony's redevelopment and got to watch it firsthand. You know, he was a big investor in Life is Beautiful, which I was a part of. So I almost owe things to Tony and very thankful. So very disheartened, to see so many suffering, and really sad that we lost someone who's made such an impact on our whole community.
Yeah, and so young. Jace, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's interesting. Former Mayor Oscar Goodman came into office in 1999, and his big thing was redeveloping downtown, redeveloping our city's core. And so the city kind of took up that baton at that point, moving forward to today over the last 20 plus years. So the city governments can do things like streetscapes and fix the sidewalks and do incentives for businesses, but really it needed that private component. So there was this partnership that formed between Mayor Oscar and Tony Hsieh, and then with Tony Hsieh and Mayor Carolyn Goodman, to really propel downtown Las Vegas into what it is today, which is, a destination that celebrates our vintage Vegas past and has a lot of fun restaurants and shopping and housing and stuff that just wasn't here, 2 decades ago.
And I think, you can see it in the downtown community, and it's so funny because I sometimes always forget about Zappos, right? Because the Tony I know is so in DTLV, and I know he moved Zappos here, but that's seeing the headlines like Zappos founder or Zappos prior CEO. I'm like, no, it's downtown Las Vegas, is how I always relate Tony to. And you can see that downtown Las Vegas is really mourning. There are murals that popped up overnight in multiple streets. There are memorials. Ferguson's downtown put up a blank slate that people could just write messages on. So you could really see that he left an impact and continues to be a presence in downtown.
One of the things that I always admired about him was his quiet confidence that he had. He just seemed to quietly help the community. There was no big fanfare ever. You'd hear about these investments he was making and saying, wow, he's just so quiet about it. And it really gave you a sense that he wanted to help the community, and his bottom line was just improving downtown. And I know at the time when was Zappos brought down to downtown? Do you all remember that date specifically or year?
It would have been around
2013.
Yeah,
14?
it's right around there after the recession.
Yeah.
And I just remember the excitement of bringing Zappos to downtown because we were going to have these employees. That was going to be their hub, and they were going to start circulating and bring business to the area for lunches and hopefully move there. And it was a lot of excitement. And, I think that he just laid a really good foundation for the excitement and entrepreneurs and visionaries. So he will be very, very much missed here in the city of Las Vegas. Our condolences to his friends and family. All right, guys, well, let's talk about the newest restrictions that came into play right before Thanksgiving. The governor tightening restrictions, calling it a pause. I think we all saw this coming. Now, as of taping today, our positivity rate was above 17%. Here are some tweets from Governor Sisolak and others. I said from the start of this pandemic, I'd always be honest with Nevadans about the reality of our COVID situation. And right now, our situation is dangerous. It requires us to act with vigilance immediately to protect our state. Here's a look at our current reality. This virus is rapidly spreading in our state. This graphic shows how likely it is that someone with COVID may be in a group of people at an event. Take care of your loved ones by staying home as much as you can and following all COVID-19 protocols. And of course, people chimed in with their opinion. This Twitter user says, well, it looks like your lockdowns, restrictions, and mask mandates didn't work then. Time to lift them and reopen the state. Alex the Great says, I trust you. I say close the state down for 3 weeks. It will save lives. I want to say that I am nervous to see what the numbers are going to be in 2 weeks. We're taping this show right after Thanksgiving, and I'm really, really nervous what it means for us. At the same time, I think I'm getting to a point where we follow the rules. I wear masks everywhere. My kids wear masks everywhere. I'm starting to feel that, well, that's going to happen. Does anyone else feel that way, or is it me? What are you all thinking?
I think it's a combination. And we were all hands on deck Sunday night. You kind of go into holiday weekend thinking hopefully things will be quiet, and it was definitely not quiet. And you could just see people start arguing on our posts, we're just trying to share information. And you're seeing both sides to that point exactly. Well, we've been doing this, it's clearly not working. So what are we gonna do? And people getting stir crazy. I mean, this started in March, where in December, it's been a really long time. And I think that's why we're seeing surges, is people are getting COVID fatigue. And that's a word that's being thrown around so much. And I think only time can tell. And as of today, California is threatening tighter restrictions. Arizona is threatening tighter restrictions. So it's kind of also hard to be in the middle and have a little less restrictions, because it's making everyone come here, which is a whole nother dilemma you see being argued on social media as well.
Absolutely. Jace?
I mean, I think I'm where you are, Melissa, that, I think you see on social media the back and forth like Natasha's talking about, but that there's an underlying frustration, I think, for everyone, because, this virus is not something that anyone can control. So I think people do get fatigued and they do get frustrated on both sides, whether it's somebody frustrated that they see someone not wearing a mask, or someone frustrated because somebody is wearing a mask. But, it's just something that we're all going to have to get through, and hopefully, the numbers do go down after this 3-week pause. I think everybody out there, whatever side of this you're on, would like to see the numbers go down, because that means, we can open more things up and get the economy going better than it is now, which, for Las Vegas is another scary thought, that, we've got hotel casinos that are closing down midweek and now at this point, because they don't have the people to fill up those rooms, and that trickles through everything in our economy. So, I think everybody's, hoping that these numbers will go down.
Yeah, I am hopeful that it will go down, but at the same time, I still think we have a long ways to go. They're talking about vaccines possibly being ready mid-December, which is great news. Unfortunately, it's a small amount of vaccines that will more than likely go to our healthcare workers first, rightly so. That, of course, is just talks right now. The CDC is going to decide how that is carried out. But, I just don't think that we're going to get rid of this anytime soon. And I think that wearing masks, I'm not going to not wear a mask. The governor has mandated it. We're going to obey what the governor wants us to do. From my own mental health, I have stopped going to restaurants. And I think that our restaurants are doing an incredible job, though, how they have adjusted. And so what I like to do right now is I like to order from them, have it delivered to the house, whether it's Uber Eats or DoorDash, whatever they're all called. I'm trying to find a line of supporting our businesses here in town and keeping my family safe in it. And it's tough. And I would assume that there are some private daycares out there. There are some restaurants out there that are barely holding on. And for them, this was their chance to make money. This is their time of year when I don't have time to cook and I order a pizza for the kids or go out to dinner. So we wish them the best of luck. Are you guys seeing those kind of concerns?
I think, from my personal network, to be very transparent, my husband owns 2 restaurants and bars in the area, and at 25% capacity, you really have to do the math on what's better. Can you survive on 25% capacity? Are you going to make it through? Is it better to close? And so I feel for the small business owners, the local restaurants, the businesses, to figure out what can we survive on and how can we keep our employees employed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we see that in all the restaurants, and then, with the restrictions in my family, I have 4 people in my family, so technically we can still go out to eat at a restaurant if we so choose, but I have a friend who has 4 daughters, and so they cannot go to a restaurant as a family and eat at this time because of the restrictions. So there's just a lot that everyone has to deal with at this time.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let's go on to our last topic. Let's talk about the beautiful arches on Las Vegas Boulevard, because I know that when I look at them, I get a smile. So we've been watching them be built for a while, but they've been getting a ton of attention since they were officially lit. So there are so many great pictures and videos out there. We're just going to compile a lot of them for you to see right now. Let's talk about it, though. I mean, these are amazing arches. Which one of you has stats on how big they are?
I've got a couple. Okay. It's a 4-legged monstrosity kind of. So it's 18,000 pounds. Each of the legs is 18,000 pounds.
Wow.
And then there's more than 13,000 LED lights that run the gamut on it. So It's pretty impressive.
And Yesco worked with the city to really make this happen. What are some of the things you guys are seeing on social media about this?
I think we're trying to prevent traffic violations, because people are just running in the middle of the street to get a great photo, but some of those photos are amazing. So I'm torn, oh my God, are you safe doing this? But can I use your photo on our social?
Right, is that something we're gonna have to think about? Creating something in the middle?
I think so.
Our public works team is working on that with the Stratosphere is right there. Obviously they have some plazas there. So that's always part of the plan. Of course, Las Vegas Boulevard is undergoing a major multi-year refurbishment right now. So there's a lot of construction cones out there, but that is part of the plan, that there will be some kind of dedicated spot for people to get pictures without having to,
run
be
in
out
the
in
middle of the
traffic.
street.
Yeah. Let's talk about how beautiful they are, because the arches, you just want to get in the middle of it and just be like, I'm here, and let the lights shine on you. So with that said, though, there are people that are unhappy with these arches. This is the last time we're going to mention this, because we've talked about this before, but I just want to give our communications team a chance to address where this money came from. So Honor Thy Oath tweets, way too much money. 6.5 million, really? Someone pocketed some money somewhere. With all the homelessness, that money could have been spent doing good for the people of Las Vegas, not another neon sign. Bob Jensen writes, I love this one, guys. 6.5 million for that is a ripoff. I like it, but that's way too much money. So I like how he says he likes it, because how can you not look at it and not like it? But which one of you wants to address the money issue?
I'm gonna pass it along
They're
to Jake.
looking at each other.
I can talk to it. So, I mean, I think sometimes, government is an easy target on social media for these types of things. The government's job is to provide services to the community, which the city does, whether it's homeless services, helping small businesses, all those sorts of things that we do, keeping the roadways and the infrastructure up. So this project, though, actually created 80 jobs, construction jobs, when it was ongoing. It's part of the larger Las Vegas Boulevard project, which is creating a lot of construction jobs as well. And it's really a question of perspective. One example I can give is, back in 2008, in the heart of the Great Recession, the city did move forward with projects that some might have scoffed at and said, why is the city spending money on these projects? Projects like the new City Hall, the Mob Museum, the Smith Center for Performing Arts. And, that was the decision of the city council and the city manager at that time. And we came out of that recession. And those projects provided much needed jobs during the recession. And when we came out, we had these sparkling new attractions downtown to bring people down to visit our businesses and attractions. And this arch is along the same lines of thinking. It is a special sign. If you haven't been out to see it, you should check it out. It's really more impressive than you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a draw. We're already seeing it's a draw to people downtown. And if people come downtown to see that sign, maybe they head over into the Stratosphere. Maybe they head down to Fremont East. Maybe they head down to the Fremont Street Experience and see what else downtown has to offer, which, a rising tide buoys all boats. It helps all those businesses.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's also going to be a fantastic opportunity for them to see Main Street, the Arts District, these places that are opening up, these cool bars and restaurants that are down there that tourists maybe did not know were there.
Right.
So I think it's a sight to see for sure. All right, Natasha, Jace, thank you so much for joining me today. Well, we are officially in the midst of Christmas season, and due to COVID-19, Christmas shopping is going to probably look a little different. Coming up, the Vegas Chamber of Commerce president joins me with some tips for business owners to get their name out there and hopefully bring in some new business. That's coming up.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face, in
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Caring for a family member can be challenging and lead to countless questions for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back, everyone. As you can see, we're in the comfort of our home, continuing our social distancing here at the city of Las Vegas. It's been a really trying year for so many people, especially businesses here in Las Vegas. Small businesses that had to compete with big box stores, online stores, capacity limits, so many things that have been thrown into their mix this year that has made it difficult. Christmas season is typically an exciting time for them where they are expected to make a lot of money, and that is going to be a challenge as well. Thankfully, there is help here in Las Vegas. I'm joined now by Vegas Chamber President and CEO, Mary Beth Seawald, who's going to give us some pointers on what small businesses and businesses in general can do to get through this period. Mary Beth, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh my goodness. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's been such a difficult year, and I think we've all heard the stories of businesses shutting down, having to close their doors temporarily. Just to kind of give us an overview, what are some of the stories you've heard from the business community and your members?
Yeah, definitely. It's been an incredibly challenging time, as you said, especially for our smallest entrepreneurs. And, at the Vegas Chamber, you might think that the largest businesses make up the most of our membership, but actually it's the small mom and pop businesses that make up the like 95% of the membership at the Vegas Chamber and across the state. And, the stories we've been hearing is that they're just struggling. It's so hard for them to stay open and continue to thrive. And that's why it's so important for us to shop local, to shop small. And, doing that, it helps them survive and thrive. And so, when you shop at local businesses, you're keeping people employed in our community. And it's just so important to the local job market and to the local economy.
So what can the Vegas Chamber do, or what do you all do to kind of help small businesses maneuver this time?
Well, we've been helping them in so many ways. The very first thing we did was to help small businesses get access to information to the CARES Act funding, like the PPP and the EIDL loans and things like that. And now we're just continuing to help them with resources, and we're promoting to the general public how important it is to shop local, because, holiday sales make up at least like 20% of all retail sales throughout the entire year. So for small businesses, especially retail, it can be much higher than that. So there's a lot riding on holiday sales this year to keep our small businesses open, and it's just so important. It keeps money in our community. It helps support government services like education and public safety. And so some of the things we're trying to give people ideas about how they can shop local, because it's just so easy to go on the big box stores or Amazon and things like that. But we're just encouraging people to think about small businesses every time you make a purchase, right? Do you need bread? Try a small bakery. Are you looking for a gift? Shop at a small boutique. And a lot of these specialty businesses have really created a more robust online presence. And so a lot of times you can go on their website and make a purchase on their website. Another thing, like when you're ordering out, think about curbside pickup instead of a drive-through, for example. Our local restaurants need our support now more than ever.
That was one of the things I was going to ask you. Sometimes when you are in a struggle, it takes money, or an outside of the box idea isn't necessarily free. So you think about, how do I advertise? How do I market myself? What kind of online presence do I need? Have you seen a lot of your smaller mom and pop shops, maybe your restaurants that are members, say, okay, I need to better or improve my online presence to kind of survive this time?
You really hit the nail on the head with that. It is so important that our small businesses really ramp up their social presence. And it's not too terribly hard. A lot of folks are really nervous about, oh gosh, what do I do? What are best practices? But at the Vegas Chamber, if our businesses, you don't even have to be a member. We're giving away free memberships right now, so that if you call or check us out online, we can give you a toolkit to help with your social online presence. And truly, it's not that difficult. And the Vegas Chamber has a very robust PR apparatus in place. And we regularly will push out information, to our membership page in order to get the word out for these local businesses. And we're creating an online shopping mall that businesses can be part of as well. So there are really a lot of resources that the Vegas Chamber is offering, and we're just doing everything we can to make sure that we're helping, especially our smallest businesses during this time.
Mary Beth, my ears actually perked up when you said you have an online small business shopping mall. Can you explain a little bit more about what that is, and how is this for the public to go and shop on, or the small businesses to go and get resources they need?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. And it's not up and running just yet, but we're in the steps of creating it at the moment. And what it's going to be is just that, an online shopping mall where the general public can go online and go into the Vegas Chamber's listing of businesses. You'd be able to shop by industry, or you can search for whatever it is you're looking for, and have an easy one-stop shop for our local businesses.
That is such an amazing, amazing idea because as a local, I would like to actually stop there first. I have to say that I am guilty of doing the Amazon and the big box stores because delivery is free and they can offer things that necessarily, others cannot. But local businesses, I'm assuming they're doing the same things. We're just not as aware of it as we could be. So are some of them offering free pickup, that sort of thing online?
Oh, yeah,
If they purchase online?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Free pickup delivery, curbside service. And it's easy because you can pay online with your credit card. So it's about as easy as it gets. And we felt like this was just another way that the Vegas Chamber could step up and really support and have a quick infusion of dollars into the pockets of our local employers. And another thing I want to make sure and let you know about, and this is active and up and running right now, it's called Switch to Kindness. And you can go on vegaschamber.com on our website and buy a gift certificate for anybody, right? You can shop. We have our listing, kind of like the mall idea. We have our listing of participating businesses. There's an apparatus in there where you can have the gift card sent to the person that you're buying it for. And one of the reasons we started that was because we wanted to have the ability to purchase gift cards for our local first responders. So the Vegas Chamber partnered up with the Las Vegas Metro Police Department's foundation, and we put together the Switch to Kindness, and it's Switch to Kindness because it's powered by Switch, the company. And you can go in there and purchase a gift card for a first responder or for a friend or for a relative. And it's a direct infusion of cash into businesses, and you get to, buy a gift card for a friend or a first responder. So Switch to Kindness is another good one. Well, we're not aware of a lot of the companies that exist out there. So this is another way to educate yourself on what companies are out there, whether it's a spa or a flower shop, the small business, small restaurants. So it's a great way to get the word out about what businesses do exist.
Mary Beth, before I let you go, one of the things that I know people are struggling with is maybe a fear of going out and being around too many people. You all have been working with the businesses in town to make sure they have all the equipment or know what equipment are needed, what rules to follow, correct?
We absolutely have. We've been working with Clark County and the state of Nevada to educate businesses on what are the steps that they need to follow. And likewise for shoppers, what are the steps that shoppers need to take, to shop safely, to shop local. And, of course, those are things like wearing your mask and practicing social distancing. Be mindful of others in the shop and keep your distance. Again, go online and then call ahead for pickup curbside. So, and again, some small businesses are offering shipping and delivery, and you can get the gift certificates as well. So there are all kinds of ways to still support our local businesses.
Well, Mary Beth, you have been a wealth of information today, so many things that I wasn't even aware of. So where can people go to find out more about what the Vegas Chamber offers?
The best place to go to find out more is vegaschamber.com. You can go to our website. We're also on all the social media channels as well. We're on Twitter, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. So if you just search Vegas Chamber, you can find our website, vegaschamber.com, and all the social links as well.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the very best this holiday season.
Likewise. Thank you.
All right. And thank you at home for watching. Remember, you can always get in on the conversation. Just follow us at City of Las Vegas and use the hashtag TrendingVegas. You can also watch us on kclv.tv, Amazon Fire, Roku, and our Go Vegas app. All right. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you next time.